This is the hardest fight of his life.
That's what he said.
Like, hands down. This guy's big. He's a natural welterweight. He can wrestle. He's improved. His boxing is next level boxing. He's good. He's very, very good.
It'll come down to the wrestling of Islam versus Jack's takedown defense and how stingy is he going to be able to be with Islam? Because when Islam can take guys down early, they really struggle.
Going in there 5 rounds of Islam, you got to expect to at least hit the ground at some point. You know, he's battle tested. He's been in there against some of the best guys, so expect to hit the ground, but that's what you can do with that. Obviously, perfect world, we keep him away, not be able to hit the ground, but yeah, we expect a full mixed martial arts battle.
UFC Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier has finally shared his view on the Islam versus JDM fight ahead of UFC 322 and declares the fight as Islam's toughest fight of his career. Daniel Cormier broke down the Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della matchup, saying it ultimately comes down to wrestling and takedown defense. He explained that when Islam secures takedowns early, opponents often struggle to recover, but the fight becomes more competitive when they can defend those attempts. Cormier also highlighted Makhachev's underrated kicking game, noting that his powerful left leg and high-level technique allow him to compete effectively even against larger opponents.
He'll be more full. He'll be more like fresh. I'm interested. I think that it'll come down to the wrestling of Islam versus Jack's takedown defense and how stingy is he going to be able to be with Islam? Because when Islam can take guys down early, they really struggle. The only time a fight even looks competitive is when they can defend takedowns and he spends large amounts of time on his feet, which he does really well too. Like, he's a slick striker and he's a southpaw, which makes him like super difficult to deal with. And I think the thing about Islam's striking game that is underappreciated is kicking. His kicking is really high level. The left leg works very, very well. And I think that allows for him to go with bigger guys.
Daniel Cormier believes this is the toughest fight of Islam Makhachev's career. He points out that Jack Della is a natural welterweight with strong wrestling and elite boxing skills. Cormier describes Jack as a world-class fighter whose confidence keeps growing with every win, making him even harder to beat. He thinks Jack's last fight boosted his belief that he can go toe-to-toe with someone like Islam and prove himself among the very best.
This is the hardest fight of his life.
That's what he said.
Like, hands down. This guy's big. He's a natural welterweight. He can wrestle. He's improved. His boxing is next level boxing. He's good. He's very, very good. There's been some tough fights in Islam's career, but I don't think he's ever fought anyone like this kid. Jack Della is the real deal, man. He is, and the more he wins, the more confident he gets, right? So it becomes harder and harder to beat him. And I think that fight that he had last time with Bilal gives him more confidence that he can go out there and fight a guy like Islam. So yeah, it's not about if I have anything positive to say about Jack. There's a lot positive to say about Jack. He's a world champion for a reason, and he's one of the best fighters in the world, hands down.
Islam Makhachev hopes his fight with Jack Della will be easy, but admits it likely won't be. He says Jack is skilled everywhere, noting that, unlike many strikers who struggle on the ground, Jack knows how to move and defend well. Makhachev adds that while he's preparing for anything, he expects a tough challenge. When Daniel Cormier asks if Jack looks bigger in person, Islam replies that Jack seems about the same height, but might be a little heavier inside the cage. Islam Makhachev said, "I hope it's gonna be easy, but I don't think it's gonna be easy. He's a good. I watched many of his fights, some of the strikers. If you take him down, they're like uncomfortable there. You know how to move, what to do. You know he's good everywhere. I hope it's gonna be easy, but ready for anything. He was not much bigger than me. When I stood in front of him, he looked like same height. But maybe inside the cage, he's gonna be a couple of kilograms bigger than me." Henry Cejudo believes Jack Della needs to meet Islam Makhachev in the center and bring the fight to him, just like Volkanovski did in their first bout. He points out that Jack must make Islam earn every takedown, fight off his back, and stay composed for all 5 rounds. Cejudo adds that Jack's size and striking give him an edge, but defending takedowns will be the key to victory.
What are the keys for the underdog? Yup, that's right. I'm talking about current champ right now. Ozzy. I'm talking about JDM. Number 1, he's gonna have to fight this guy in the center. He's gonna have to fight him in the center, and he's gonna have to bring the fight. Do a little bit of what Volkanovski ended up doing in that first fight. And let's not forget that fight against Bilal Muhammad. He was able to really press him and catch him with the uppercuts to eventually make him earn everything. Even if he doesn't get takedowns, make him earn it. Make him, boom, fight from the bottom, get up top, and continue the fight. Stay in the center. rinse, and repeat. He is the bigger fighter. He has a better combinations, but could he defend those takedowns? And could he keep composure on his feet in order for him to feel good? 5 rounds.
On the other hand, Jack Della Maddalena aims to avenge his countryman Alexander Volkanovski's tough fight against Islam Makhachev. He respects Volkanovski's effort in the first bout and acknowledges the second fight was extremely difficult on short notice. Jack is motivated to secure a victory for his fellow Australians and the fans, hoping to set things right in their eyes. JDM said, "I just obviously look up to Volk. I feel like in the first fight the odds were stacked against him, and he still put on an incredible performance. Everyone in the arena felt the atmosphere, and many thought Volk had won. Then in the second fight, things were fully stacked against him on extremely short notice. I really look up to Volk. He's an amazing man, and I just want to get it back to the audience. I can't let them feel that way again. I feel confident I can get the job done." Islam Makhachev responds to Jack Della Maddalena's comment about winning for Volkanovski, explaining that Alex already tried to get revenge in their previous fights, and it did not go well, implying that trying to fight for someone else is not a good idea.
Jack, when this fight was announced, he said he wants to get it back for Alex. What's your response to that?
Yeah, Alex also tried to get back from the first fight, and second fight's not good for him. That's why it's a not good idea.
Islam Makhachev explains that Jack Della Maddalena is his toughest test not because of size, but because of skill. He says Jack is well-rounded, strong in striking, and comfortable on the ground. Islam points out that Jack doesn't panic when taken down and knows how to defend himself, but still believes his own grappling and overall skill set are superior.
Islam, when you said that this is going to be the toughest test of your career, is that because of how good Jack is, or because he's just the bigger guy at welterweight?
No, not because of he bigger guy, because he's good, you know. He's good. I saw his fight with Bilal, with many guys. He's good everywhere, but I believe, you know, he's good in, yes, he's striking like pretty good, but I saw his wrestling. He can defend, his grappling, he like feel, if somebody take him down, it's not like something's, he's surprised, you know. He feel good also there, but I know my skill is better.
Meanwhile, Jack Della Maddalena reveals he still adopts the underdog mentality ahead of his fight with Islam Makhachev. He says he has the skills to make it a tough fight and warns that if Islam underestimates him, he will be surprised. Jack adds that he still feels like the underdog with everything to prove and enjoys being in that position.
I've got the skills. I think it's I think everyone can give people tough fights. I think if he's not expecting a tough fight, he'll be in for a rude awakening. I mean, I still feel like I'm the underdog. I still have that underdog mentality. I feel like I've got everything to prove, so not much has changed. I mean, I enjoy the underdog role, so...
On the other hand, Islam Makhachev makes it clear that he is more than just a grappler ahead of his fight with Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322. He explains that he can strike just as well as he can wrestle, mentioning his stand-up battles with Dustin Poirier and Alexander Volkanovski. Islam says MMA is about mixing all skills together, and he is ready to fight in any area the matchup goes. Islam Makhachev also reacts to Craig Jones helping JDM, saying Craig should have at least one MMA fight before advising about it. He explains that bringing someone in for one or two camps doesn't really work that way. Makhachev gives the example of Dricus du Plessis bringing many coaches and partners for his fight with Khamzat Chimaev, saying that kind of preparation doesn't always make a big difference. Islam Makhachev said, "Let's make this Craig one fight in MMA. It's not working like this. When you bring someone for one camp or two camps, I'll just give you a good example. Khamzat fighting du Plessis DDP brought a lot of coaches and partners, but it doesn't work like this." Kamaru Usman also reacts to JDM training with Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski ahead of his fight with Islam Makhachev. He points out that even when Dricus du Plessis trained with multiple wrestlers before facing Khamzat Chimaev, the real test still came on fight night. Usman emphasizes that no matter how good the preparation is, the truth only reveals itself once the fight begins.
When you see Alex Volkanovski, Craig Jones sitting in that room with him at Scrappy MMA in Perth, how much of an impact do you think those guys are having in the lead up and preparation for Islam?
I mean, it is what it is. You can't really tell. You can't really say that, because look at someone like DDP. You saw when he was preparing for Khamzat Chimaev, and he had three guys, I believe, wrestling him and trying to get him down, and he was kind of having his way with those three guys. That doesn't really tell the story. You know, you don't know until you get into that fight and things start to play out. So Who knows?
Tim Welch points out that Jack Della Maddalena has a springy, dynamic stance, bouncing in and out, and notes his excellent cardio for a 5-round fight. He explains that Jack probably walks around at 195 to 200 pounds, while Islam Makhachev, who used to fighting smaller opponents, is naturally closer to 170 pounds. Welch emphasizes that Islam stays just as lean and shredded at welterweight as he does at lightweight, highlighting his conditioning and physical readiness.
So when I say Jack Della Maddalena versus Islam Makhachev, can we get the Timbo breakdown here? What are you thinking?
I mean, obviously there's ways for Jack to win, but he's got a springy stance. He bounces in, he bounces out. We're going 5 rounds here. His cardio's great. He probably walks around at 195 pounds. Islam's used to fighting guys that are probably walking in the cage 175, but Islam is a natural 170. I've been around this guy multiple times. He is damn near 6 foot. He looks like he's 200 pounds out of fight camp, and that's what most 170 guys are. 6 foot to 6'2", and they walk around 195 to 200 pounds. But Islam, you see him in his pictures now. He looks just as shredded as he does at 155.
Tim Welch further explains that Islam Makhachev's past weight cuts to 155 took a huge toll, leaving him only at about 60% of his full strength and power. Welch expects the move up to welterweight to reveal a much stronger, fresher version of Islam. He adds that while he'd love to see Jack Della Maddalena land a big knockout, he thinks Islam will likely take control on the ground, secure half guard, and look for a submission finish.
He's talked about it in the past that cutting to 155, trying to recover in 24 hours and fight 5 rounds. He said he's max at 60% of his strength and power when it comes to recovering after weight cuts. Now, I mean, I think we're going to see a whole new monster in Islam Makhachev. I really would love to see Jack put one on his lips, boom, and put him out. I would love it, and I'm hoping that happens. But I think Islam Makhachev is going to get on top, put him in half guard, and probably submit him, unfortunately.
Dricus du Plessis wants Jack Della Maddalena to win, but struggles to pick against Islam Makhachev. He emphasizes Islam's history of beating top-level opponents and notes his size, strength, and thorough preparation for moving up in weight, making him a very difficult challenge despite du Plessis' hope that Jack claims the belt.
If you look at his opponents versus Makhachev's opponents, Makhachev has beaten the who's who. He is where he is, and he was pound for pound for very long. Pound for pound king for a very good reason. People think Jack Della is going to be bigger. I don't think so. I've now lately seen, and that's why they did such a long camp, to pick up that weight correctly. And he looks big, and he looks thick, and he looks strong. I mean, no doubt, he's a hard worker. But this one, I think, with Jack Della, I love his style, I love him, I like his personality. I would love for him to win that belt, but unfortunately, I cannot go against Makhachev in this one. I think he is just so good. I think he's so good, and I don't think he's going to give up anything going up a weight. I think he's going to be great at that weight, to be honest.
Make history.
Absolutely.
Dustin Poirier also expects Islam Makhachev to win a decision over JDM. He notes that Jack has the power and timing to land a big strike, but believes a win for Jack, whether by decision or submission, would be a major surprise.
I would think Islam by decision, but if Jack does win, I'm not going to be totally blown away if he lands a shot that hurts Islam or a knee or something. Obviously, if he beats Islam by decision or submits Islam, then I'm going to be blown away. But I got to go with Islam by decision. That's if I was betting on it, that's what I would bet on.
Brendan Schaub sees the fight between Islam Makhachev and JDM as a classic striker versus grappler matchup. He considers Jack one of the UFC's best boxers, while Islam focuses more on defense and has less offensive striking. Schaub says Jack's path to victory is escaping control, hand fighting, and getting back to his feet after takedowns. If Jack can avoid being controlled on the ground for long, Schaub thinks Islam will struggle to win.
Islam versus JDM, this can be more clear of a straight boxer, probably the best in the UFC, boxing-wise. And then Islam has decent striking. Quick saying it's fucking world class. His main thing is his defense. His defense is good. He avoids shots. That's probably where he excels at. But his offense ain't shit as far as compared to JDM. So you have a straight boxer versus a straight grappler. That's what this fight comes down to. So the whole thought process for JDM, his path to victory, is when you get taken down, can you avoid him controlling your back? Can you hand fight? Can you avoid all that and get back to your feet? If JDM gets taken down and can get back to his feet and not get just out positioned and just wrestle fucked for 5 rounds, I just don't see a way Islam beats him.
Meanwhile, Belal Muhammad compares Alexander Volkanovski and Jack Della Maddalena's styles against Islam Makhachev. He notes Volkanovski's shorter frame made him harder to control on the ground, while Jack's longer torso could give Islam more opportunities for top control. Muhammad also points out that Volkanovski is faster and more explosive with combinations, whereas Jack prefers longer, smoother striking sequences.
We've seen him in longer fights, obviously fighting for Volkanovski, who probably did the best with him on the ground, but Volkanovski is a little ball of muscle, right? He's short. It's harder to control shorter guys. Jack is longer, so he's gonna have a longer torso for Islam to control, a longer torso for him to get on top of. Volkanovski made those spots harder because he's very short. He's very hard to read. Even with the striking, he's like a little bit more faster with his combinations. Jack does longer combinations, but I think Volkanovski is more explosive. And like I said, it's always harder to fight shorter guys. And fighting in Australia was a very hard spot, I think, for Islam.
That's a wrap for today's video. How do you see this fight playing out? Drop your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more great MMA content.